Oh, son, this is a video short and sweet for young men. You need to start taking accountability. I hear the phrase so often, he's just a teenager, man. This is a bad parenting saying. So many fucking lazy parents will use this just because they don't want their kid to hate them. They don't want to fucking say something that their kid's gonna hate, and they don't want to actually take the work and install true discipline in them. The kids that I saw growing up that had the best outcome were the ones who had some sort of role model in their life to install discipline. Now, this is another reason why a lot of the big problems with single parent households, mainly the ones with single mothers, is a problem. It's because there is no actionable male role model to instill discipline in the child. Now, I don't really believe you have to beat a kid. I don't believe you have to slap him. I don't believe you have to pull a belt out or nothing like that. I believe you need to, without any sort of give, strict discipline. So many kids nowadays, they say, oh, he just fucking needs time to grow. This time of growth is just spent sitting in his room playing a fucking video game or smoking weed as a teenager, eating shitty food. It's just wasted time. That in his most productive years, his most informative years, where they could be absorbing information like a sponge, they're just enabled to just sit there like a sloth. A lot of them are in Christian households, and you're doing one of the fucking biggest deadly sins there is. Just sitting there like a fucking sloth. What is the point? Don't you think that if you were a young teenager, you start growing and getting all this testosterone in you, you should put a little, this is for parents, you should put a little fucking work in and install some good habits in your kid. I know we're all busy, but most parents who are just working 40 hours a week, I'm not talking about the ones who work more, you come home and you're so tired from your job and your parenting that you just lay around. That's bullshit, dog, and you know it. There's two main things that I'm a true believer in with teenagers and 13, 14, 15, and onwards. And the two things is installing discipline in a kid and installing a good diet in a kid. See, there's another part of it is with the diet is you have these things called growth plates in your body. And I didn't know about this until I was about like 18 years old. But there's these plates in your body. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know exactly where they're located. I couldn't misfrizzle my school bus into your body and find them. But from what I understand is through a lot of the processed food, heavily processed food that we have nowadays and shit like that, these growth plates will close prematurely, stopping your growth, stunting your growth, as you heard. You hear all these parents are afraid. They hear all these things about, you can't do that. It'll stunt your growth. Don't work out. It'll stunt your growth. This is one of the things, which is heavily processed bullshit foods. Now, I'm not preaching like one of these new age keto guys, Liver King motherfucker, only eat beef, steak. Nah, you ain't got to do that. A well-balanced diet is all you need. Cut back on the fucking Cheetos, the Goldfish, the Doritos, the snacks from 7-Eleven, the snacks from the gas station, and start implementing a whole food diet. What does that mean? Oh, that's so expensive. What that means is just eat like good natural shit. All you need, you don't got to go organic or nothing like that. You ain't got to be a microplastic freak. All you got to do is just eat some fucking fruit. Eat any type of protein. Get you some rice, potatoes, just some shit that comes out of the ground or out of an animal. You don't need something made in a lab like a fucking Fruity Pebble or Cocoa Pebble that is genetically altered to all be the same. So many of these kids are spoiled nowadays with a diet that they're picky eaters. They can only eat these genetically altered things to all be the same. Chicken nuggets and all this shit that is... No, you need natural shit. You need shit from the wild, dog. You need shit that is different shapes, different textures. You can't be a pussy with that. And on top of that, the growth plates. If you really want to be big and strong and not be an 18-year-old looking back being like, man, I fucked up so bad, care about your diet a little bit. My little brother, I recently heard that he's taken into consideration his diet. My parents, as much as I love them, are one of these enabler parents where they just allow this shit to happen. And if you hear this or you see this, I'm very proud of you. It's a low effort thing that will benefit your whole life round. But now back onto the discipline. I'm ADHD bad, so I'm going to skip around. But back on the discipline real quick. What are some ways that you could install discipline into your kid? Oldest time and as simple as shit. A task list, a chores list. Mow the grass, do the dishes, clean, dust, shit like that. Not only will this teach a kid how to keep a clean house and keep his shit right, but it will also instill that little bit of discipline. They'll start off, if they never done it or woke up early and done shit like that, they're going to be reluctant. They're going to be like, oh, fuck no, they don't want to listen and shit like that. But then eventually, after a while, they'll realize if you enforce it right, they'll realize, hey, the only other option to this is taking pride in my work, and that's a better outcome. That results in a better outcome than me being a pussy. So, 2 things. If you're a young teenager that you need to do, if your parents will not help you with this, I urge you to do it to yourself, or you will look back, especially if you're starting to get interested in self-improvement, you will look back with regret. So, get your diet right, dog. Now, this don't mean that if your mom makes a meal with a bunch of fucking seed oils and shit and 2 grams of protein, you got to spit in her face and call her a bitch. No, be respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Be respectful. Don't be a little shithead. But maybe you could be the driving factor in your family's change in their nutrition. If you put in the effort, they'll say, oh, wow, he's putting in all this effort, and then they'll be encouraged to do it themselves. Maybe. Not always. Or you get a fucking job and be a man and buy your own food and cook it for yourself. You only go to school for 8 hours. You got time in between and before. Now, the second thing is the discipline. I promise you, dog, your life will be way better if you have control over your mind. A person that lacks discipline lacks control over themselves. If you can't stop the urge and don't have the discipline to not do a bad habit, control your fucking hands like these porn addicts and these fucking junkies, you're lost. You're just lost, dog. That is the simplest and first step, is to be able to have the discipline to control things you do not want to do. Do not let your monkey lizard brain control you. And also, on top of that, you need to fucking learn the discipline for the good habits. Be able to enforce yourself and make yourself get up early if you want, or whatever you desire, towards a goal. Oh man, I don't feel like it. That's where discipline comes in. Oh, I'm just in a depressive mindset. Oh, nothing matters. I'm nihilistic. That's where discipline comes in. It's called robot mode. You get the shit done no matter which way you feel. Left, right, upside down, fucking blue, purple, red. Who the fuck cares? You're going to get your shit done. Now have a great day. Chase paper and enjoy nature, old son. Keep on grinding.